Welcome to Talk Dirt to Me, where two farmers shatter myths and take on the top issues facing America's farmers. Here's your hosts, Logan and Bobby Lee.
What's going on?
200.
Episode 200. Did
you ever think we'd make it?
I did. I feel like we would. Did you?
We're pretty hard-headed.
Yeah. Did you think we would fade out before then?
Well, that's the good thing about us both being involved. Like, if it had just been me, you know, I don't know if I would have kept doing it.
But we kind of keep each other accountable.
So
on
we got a workout partner. You got to, I got to show up at the gym at 5 a.m. because Logan's there waiting on me.
Yeah, it does. That does help for sure.
Yeah,
that does. And well, we got an exciting episode. Before we reveal what we got, we need you guys to do a couple of things. First, we need you to leave us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening. Leave us 5-star ratings on there. I don't remember if we had some good, funny ones left from last week. But anytime you leave us a good rating, like I said, we like to look at those, give shout outs. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you're watching on Rumble, you can even watch on there. And I've seen we've gained a few people on Rumble. Yeah. Somebody did write in on the last episode 200. Bobby Lee should apologize to the Jews.
I feel like that's all I've done ever since Dan. Well, actually, I never apologized because I never.
You never actually hated the Jews?
I think I just clarified.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. What else I need to do?
Check out agzaga.com. The discount code TalkDirt20, $50 minimum order, $20 off, free shipping, all the good stuff. The Bailnet wrap, used some of their Bailnet wrap today. Used some of their therapies just the other day, and I actually had to order some more. I ran out. That was my fault. Browse around, check out all the good stuff. Use that discount code and get the free shipping.
There you go. Did you say the discount code?
Talk Dirt 20, yeah.
And did you Tractor Mat?
Yeah, Tractor Mat. That's the other one you want to check out.
Yep.
TractorMat.com, isn't it?
Yep.
Go on there. Custom fit for your model tractor. Filter it by manufacturer, model. Discount code there is just Talk
Dirt. All caps, all one word, back to old school.
Yeah, 15% off.
Yep. And again, made in USA. So we recommend you go get that. They got a ton of models available for you. So, all right, episode 200.
Yep.
Our most requested episode from really day one. People are like, when are you guys going to have your dads on?
Yep.
And so we finally have given the people what they've been asking for, so we got our dads on. So y'all tell everybody, hey.
Hey, everybody. This might be the last episode.
Yeah, I told Logan this is going to kill the rating.
I doubt it.
Well, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear. Like I said, we even got a few questions. I had some.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to hear stuff that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
I'll tell some stuff, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, we're joined. We got Tim, my dad, and then Uncle Bob, Bobby Lee's dad over there. And if you're listening, y'all tell them who you are for people that are listening, so they can put a face to the voice.
Well, I'm Tim Hanks.
And I'm his older brother, Bob. I'm 5 years older.
Yeah, you are.
And but a whole lot prettier. So.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
the YouTube and Rumble audience will have to check that out.
Yeah, y'all have to decide on the YouTube there. It's cool. So before we get into the questions, there, I guess first thing, they need to get a little background. How it all began. How did farming start? Even with Big C and all that. How'd the Hanks family get into the farming world?
Well, we were born into it. We grew up on the farm. We've always farmed, and we've farmed ever since we were big enough to farm. We always have.
I got to thinking about it the other day, and I kind of get into the genealogy thing a little bit. Every generation, the Hanks family has farmed since they first got to America, and the first Hanks, our direct descendants, came in 1650.
Wow.
So we grew up out on the farm that we called, Mother's place, Mother and Dad's place in 1952. And we still have it. Tim lives on our great-grandfather's place.
Yeah, I think he bought it, what, in 1899? Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, we got the original handwritten deed written with a quill, ink pen. Seriously, and
What did he pay, $1,200?
For how many acres?
no, it's well, I don't know what he paid. I don't.
I was thinking he paid like $1,200. But it's
that could be right.
200 acres.
Man, I wish you could get that nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and part of it had left the family, part of it stayed in the family. We had to buy it back in 2 parcels, and I guess we bought it in '82, the first one.
No, I think it was, I got married in 1983.
Yeah,
I think you got married a year before me.
and I got probably 82.
Yeah.
Well, no,
No, you got married in 80.
yeah. Lord, I hope Mama ain't listening.
But we, I think it was like 1985.
Got married the same year I did, didn't you?
No,
Okay.
no.
Because you
You
got
remember
married.
you remember you was running through the house in your underwear, and I had Tanya, my to-be wife, and you come running through there in your underwear, and you saw her, and boy, you turned around, and you took off running back.
Oh, man, the stories are already getting good.
Yep.
What was- okay. All right. I remember that, but I don't remember
Which,
time frame.
because, of course, you're a veterinarian as well, but you graduated vet school in
In
80.
1980.
That's
I got married that fall
right. You
in
got
1980.
right. Well, that's what I mean. I wasn't alive yet, but I always
Right.
knew that
Right.
you graduated and you and Mom got married that fall.
Yeah, because you were born, what, 85?
83.
83.
No,
Right.
it's only it's only 14 hours difference between Bobby Lee and your sister Brenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What did when they started farming, what was it? Was it cattle or was it the crop sharing? I mean,
who are you talking
sharecropping?
about?
The Hankses, where we first started.
Well, our granddaddy they were sharecroppers. I mean,
They were poor.
they came up during the Depression, Great Depression.
Our great grandfather, Will Henry Hanks, that had the farm where Tim lives, he had a big family. It was a little over 200 acres, or around 200 acres.
Yeah.
There were several houses on that property. Our dad and his brother were born in a log house on that house, on
Oh, wow.
the property. I don't know, through the Depression, several of them lived and made their living right there.
I mean, everybody had cotton. Everybody had a patch of cotton, and
Did y'all see Big C behind you?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's when he was over in London.
Yeah, that's their dad. So
Yeah.
Logan and my granddad.
Yeah, because him and his brother both were in World War II.
Yeah.
Right. They were less than a year apart in age. My uncle Lemuel was born in 1924 in February,
February 3rd.
and he was drafted and went into World War II, and he was young enough that he was in on the D-Day invasion. Our dad was actually graduated high school a year early because when my uncle would go to the school just down the road, one-room schoolhouse, my dad kept following him, but he wasn't 5 years old, and he kept doing that until finally the teacher said, just let him stay, we'll get him books. And so he finished school a year early.
So they graduated together.
Yes.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
His buddies all got drafted and he wasn't old enough.
right.
They all got to go.
so-
He had to wait around a year. He was
Yeah.
always mad about that.
He for that year between when he was 17 and then old enough to be and go into the military, he worked. They were constructing the Millington Naval Air Station, just about 8 or 10 miles south of here. He got a job down there in construction, hitchhiked to work every morning.
Wow.
And he worked as a mechanic's helper. And then as soon as he was 18, he went into the Army. And
Now, he joined on his own accord. He didn't get drafted, right?
well, he had to wait till he was 18. I don't know if he actually got the letter or he went in, but since that would have been probably 1943, most of the guys that were in the actual invasion were in my uncle's age group. They didn't have time to go through all the training and all for him. When he got to England, well, he was an MP, and he basically spent most of his time in England, in London most of the time. But his biggest deal over there was getting ready for the invasion, and he rode a motorcycle. His particular unit were on Harley 45s, and moving in the material and men to the ships. Not something happened overnight. Took weeks to get all the stuff ready to go. And
Now, he was always mad that he was MP, though.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, he's mad that he didn't get in. I guess the infantry or
Well,
something on there.
But he
I
was
don't know.
big. He was a big guy.
Oh yeah.
he actually, they called up for volunteers they were getting ready for that Operation Market Garden. And he and a bunch of other guys in his outfit volunteered. Their commander turned down their request to volunteer. They wouldn't let them go, and they were too big anyway. The average paratrooper was like 5'8", and they were all over 6 foot. Daddy was 6'2", so they were too big. You couldn't get as many of them on the airplane. So, and he said it probably saved his life.
Yeah, because I think about all of them got killed over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So
Well, didn't Uncle Lemuel, he got shot two times? Didn't he get shot a couple times?
about 2 or 3 weeks in, he got shot outside of St. Lo in France, trying to take that. And they shipped him back to England. Daddy got to see him when he was in the hospital in England. So
And he gets shot in the knee.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was his
Yeah.
worst injury. Yeah,
He carried a BAR, if I remember right.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
that was not a good thing to have.
Just a heavy gun.
Well,
Well, you were the one that-
you were the, you,
Yeah.
you were the
Yeah.
target. You were the target.
Yeah, that's true.
man.
Did the rest of his unit, what were they carried? M1 Grands?
Predominantly, yeah. But you didn't want to have the BAR or the flamethrower.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because Uncle Lemuel was a lot smaller guy than Pawpaw, though.
he was lanky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was tall, but
And a BAR, they're pretty heavy.
yeah.
They're heavy rifles.
Yeah. You know, he said they'd have to change a barrel out on them too. They get so hot they'd have to have asbestos gloves. You know.
Did they shoot a 30-06 too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when they got out, I mean, after the World War II, all that ended, and they came home, what was their next moves at that point?
Daddy went to work for a mechanic shop.
Was that the Kelly Russell?
Kelly
or
Russell,
something?
yeah. He worked. The Hankses traditionally have always been good with their hands. You go back to the.
Marcy would agree with me. I'm agreeing that I'm good with my hands.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
You got
They were
that
like-
honest.
blacksmiths, gunsmiths, wagon makers. They farmed as well, but mechanically inclined. So that's what Daddy did. That's what Uncle Lemuel did as well, but he went to work for the government. He had a GS job on the naval base. He was in the transportation department, became a supervisor, and that's where he retired from, in transportation. Of course, Daddy had his own independent shop.
And so when did that start? When did he start?
About 1946, I think.
It was right after they came
That's when he
out.
opened Hank's Auto Parts?
He didn't.
No, I don't know when Hank's Garage actually started.
Because it had been in business for
It was
75.
probably 40.
46, I think, was what was on that old record out there.
Yeah. And anyway, Yeah, and I don't know when Daddy started courting Mother.
Well, they got married in 1950.
I know he had a girlfriend. I saw a picture of that wasn't near as pretty as Nana was in his army box. I think it was a girl. I guess he dated right before Nana, and she wasn't very pretty.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little story about Daddy. He was our mother lived over at Gilt Edge. I guess she lived at Gilt Edge when they was courting.
Same house. Yeah, same house.
And he was running late to pick her up, and he was on Mumford Gilt Edge Road, and a mule walked out in front of him. He said he was flying, and he hit the mule, and it hit the car. It tore his car all to pieces. And
it was a ragtop, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but he drove Fords. Man, he was a Ford man. I don't remember what model it was.
It was like a 49, maybe.
I don't know.
Like
But, he said it had a hood ornament on out there, and it ripped the mule's
basically,
he said in the guts, when it knocked the windshield out and the guts went all in the car. Oh, he said it was awful.
So I'm guessing he didn't go get Nana that night.
Well, I don't know, but surprisingly,
They fixed the car,
But-
but he had to get rid of it.
and nobody owned that mule.
Why did
Nobody knew where the mule come from.
Why did he have to get rid of it?
He said it smelled like horse shit. He said it smelled just like. They said you couldn't get it out of the car. He got rid of it.
Dang.
He also, since he had the Army background riding the motorcycles, he had Harleys.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Did he ride when he got out of the military?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up until they got married, and Mama maybe didn't, or persuaded him
To get rid of it?
motorcycles.
He almost became a state trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. We're glad he didn't do that.
Yeah, like Logan would have. Ooh, I don't know how you
I
feel
know,
about that.
that's what I said. I said, man, I'm glad he didn't become a state trooper.
He would have been, but his buddy didn't pass some part of a test or something. He said, well, if you're not going to be one, I'm not going to be one either.
Well, he did feel the same way I do about speeding
Yeah,
tickets
that
and
is
stuff,
funny,
though.
yeah, 'cause-
Because I do. You got to share that story about him with getting the speeding ticket.
Just go back real briefly. When did our ancestors come to West Tennessee? Because I know you've told me that before.
Well, there's, and I don't want to get too detailed here, but as I said, we all come from that original Thomas Hanks. Came here in 1650, thereabouts.
And they were in North Carolina.
No, Virginia.
Okay.
Okay, he did real well. He amassed, he had at least 2,000 acres
Dang.
and at least another 800 acres, but he was primarily harvesting timber. But there was a little deal called the Bacon Rebellion, which was, I think, in the 1670s, and I think he was on the wrong side of that, and there's not much record of him after that, so he may not have survived that
Yep.
part. His sons, one of them was named William, and most of the Hankses that are still here derive from him, including us. Interestingly, the first son that William and his wife had was also named William, but genetically, and they've proven it through the DNA and all the resulting lines, William's descendants don't match any of the other brothers. So
he was just somebody she did a little sleeping around.
well, that, or it was very common for people to die early. She could have been a widow that was pregnant. So
Gotcha.
nobody knows. So there are two lines of Hankses. We're the real deal, and Williams are not.
Which branch is Nancy Hanks from? Abraham Lincoln's.
Ours, but interestingly, on that, Nancy Hanks's mother was illegitimate. Her father was a Hanks, so she was Lucy Hanks, I believe, and then Nancy was her daughter.
Gotcha.
So Well, actually, Nancy was illegitimate. Excuse me.
Okay.
So we don't know who her father was. So Lincoln's grandfather, and there's in his writings, he said he didn't know who his grandfather was. But then genetically, they came back and they proved that she was
a Hanks.
Yeah, she's a descendant of Hanks, but don't know who Nancy Hanks' father was.
Gotcha.
But that's us. Tom Hanks, the actor,
I told a guy that he was my cousin. He came, it was like the little book salesman that's been going around town, and he came up to the house one day and he was like, "Hey man," he asked my name and I said, "Logan Hanks," and he said, "Oh, are you kin to Tom?" And I said, "I am." And he goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I really am." I said, "He is my cousin." And he goes, "Dang, could you help me? I'd like to meet the guy." And I said, "Well, I mean, he's like my 1,000th cousin." I said, "I don't know." I said, "I don't know the guy, and we're definitely nothing alike."
There were several there was like a northern migration from the Virginias. All of them started out in Virginia, some in Maryland, but there was some that went north. Our branches went from Virginia down to the Carolinas, and the Carolinas to Tennessee. You asked that question. Our great-great-grandfather, John Wesley Hanks, was born in Tennessee. We're not sure exactly where, but through the DNA and doing all that stuff, we know we're descendants of William Hanks' son, Luke, and he had a lot of people that ended up settling in Middle Tennessee, and they moved on over into southern Tennessee around the Savannah area. But in 1835, they opened up North Mississippi to settlement, and our great-grandfather, John Wesley, his family had moved down Tishomingo County, Mississippi, and then they moved into another county. I'm off the top of my head, I don't know where it was.
Huh.
He began a family down there. It was in 1860 census down there. 1870 census, he had moved to Tipton County, Tennessee, and he had a bunch of kids. And our great-grandfather, Will Henry Hanks, was the first child in that family born in Tennessee in 1868. So during or shortly after the Civil War, they came back up to Tennessee,
Gotcha.
and we've been here ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over 150 years, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then you get to go into the shop, because that wasn't the shop in business for 75 years.
I think 1946 was when he built that old original, which is still there.
Mhm.
You know.
Had a dirt floor in it originally, because I know they said they got a car stuck in it a time or two in the winter when the snow would melt off and they'd get stuck.
Yeah, because we're talking about their dad, our grandfather, had a,
Yeah, Hank's Auto Parts.
yeah.
It was Hank's Garage, and then they got into the auto parts business. They had parts before, but 1969, I believe, when they
I was a
built it.
young teenager.
They built that. They built that front on out there, and that's when they actually went full scale auto parts. But they had hardware. I mean, it was we had a lot of inventory.
Yeah. Now they had cattle and hay and everything on the side as well.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, they bought, like I say, bought that farm.
1952. Yeah.
And you was born in '55, because I remember baby pictures. You were there.
57. Excuse me. I was 2 years old when we moved out.
They lived in Munford over there in the little white house over there.
Yeah.
But that's when they bought the first farm over there. We called the home place. And then I was born in 1960. And yeah, I mean, that's where we grew up. And I mean, there's always been cattle. It's been
Yeah, I
cattle
was about to say,
there
what-
from day one.
Yeah,
I
what,
mean,
what
you
was the farm like? Yeah.
Well, we had beef cows, and that was hay, beef cows. That was basically it. We had
cotton.
Cotton when we were
Had
little.
cotton. I always had cotton. Had cotton behind the barn. Had cotton behind the shop.
Yeah.
How many head of cattle back then would that have been?
I don't know. I don't remember. Daddy had cattle, and then Uncle Emil had cattle. But when did they buy Gum Slough? 1960.
About the same time they bought Double Bridges.
So they bought a farm in River Bottom.
Yeah.
and we had 50 acres of alfalfa down there.
See, I don't really remember that, but I kind of remember. Like, I remember going down there. We had hay down there. I was too little to know what we were doing.
Not at Gum Slough.
No, because we put it in CRP, or they did rather.
And then our uncles. Well, we had alfalfa down there to probably early 70s, and then our uncles. See, Mother's family. Our grandfather on the other side, that's all they did. They farmed. That's what they did. I mean, they farmed over to Hatchie Bottom, over around Guilty Edge in Detroit. But they went down there and they actually farmed that land for several years.
At some point, we put it in CRP after they farmed it.
Yeah, they was getting all that erosion out of the bluff. It was gravel and sand coming out of the bluff. That farm went from the bluff all the way out into the bottom, and they put it in a CRP. I don't know how they got it in there, but they did. I mean, they stayed in it for 10 years, and then started farming it again. I think Gerald Wayne might have been the first one.
Oh, he farmed it?
He did.
Because, he farmed this place that I live on. That's what his wife, she comes in the farm store, and she talks about it. She's like, yeah, Gerald used to work all this ground out here. He
was a good guy.
He was a very good guy.
All of that whole family. That was a good family.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch.
Yeah, his son is my neighbor over here, old Bo Evil. But yeah, it's neat because even when I work across the road, I think Mr. Gerald worked all that as well at one time, and now a lot of houses have encroached upon it. But well, before we go in much further, I do want to hear, you got to share the story, because Bobby Lee and I can get a little critical sometimes of police writing excessive tickets. So I do want you to share the story of Paw getting the speeding ticket.
Well,
tell him about
him and Mother.
Go to the Strand.
They would go to the Strand on Saturday night. So, they'd go eat and then they'd go down the
country
Strand.
Music.
Live local country music.
Was it gospel country?
No,
or
it
something?
was just everything.
Country music.
Did you ever go with them?
I did. I hated going.
I would always fall asleep.
Yeah. I never enjoyed it, but I went a few times.
Well, Justin Timberlake played there at one time, I think.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm sure he probably did.
Yeah.
But they were coming home on a Saturday night and coming in on the Munford-Tipton Road there.
Now, he'd have been how old? What age would they have been? 60s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was, he was
He was either in a big old Buick or a big old Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
He's on up in his 60s. But, he was coming in, and all of a sudden, Mother said, I believe that policeman's after you. And they came on into town, and he didn't stop. He just went on around. We didn't have them stop signs then, went on around, and he turned on Guilty Edge Road where the car was following him, and so he figured he was after him, so he stopped. And of course, he was starting to get, if you knew how, you don't know him as good as we did. But Mama was going, be nice, Curtis, be nice. Of course, a younger guy comes walking up there, and Daddy rolls his window down, and Daddy goes, what do you want? He goes, well, sir, you were speeding. And anyway, I don't know if he disputed or whatever, but anyway, he wanted to see Daddy's license. But about that time, another policeman drove up, and it was it may have been Dave Elmore, I'm not sure. It was one that knew Daddy real well, and he was talking to the officer. He said, "Oh, this is Mr. Hanks. He's the one that owns the Hanks Garage and Auto Parts over there." Daddy done pissed him off, and the guy was writing him a ticket. Anyway, the next morning, it was Sunday morning. I went over there, and he goes, "I want you to see what I got." And he pulled out that ticket, and I looked at it. Right down at the bottom of it, he hadn't seen it. It said on there, very poor attitude. And I said, dang, look what he wrote on your ticket. Hey, let me see it. Oh, man. He go, oh, boy, Monday morning, he couldn't wait for City Hall to open up. Man, he was up there, and they was begging him not to pay that ticket. He said, oh, no, I'm going to pay that ticket. I'm going to pay that ticket. And they would set up radar out there on our gravel drive out there behind the shop,
mm-hmm.
for Beaver Road. And Daddy was out there. He was, tell you, he went to his grave mad about this. But anyway, he looked out there, boy, and was a car set up. Oh, dang, boy. Man, out there he went, just a beeline. He went out there and he walked up to the car. It wasn't the same person. And the officer looked up at him and he goes, "Oh, you want me to move?" And Daddy says, "No, you can stay here. I was just making sure you wasn't that son of a bitch that gave me the ticket the other night." He said, "But you can stay." Anyway, the guy didn't. He cranked up and left.
Actually, I think the guy that wrote the ticket, I think that was the last weekend that he worked there.
Really?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He was, ooh, man, Daddy was.
Now, he wasn't a Munford cop that wrote him a ticket, was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that was his last weekend to work.
Well, I've told Marcy I get my annoyance for getting pulled over or something honest. I get that honestly.
Well, you know, you think about everything those guys went through, like during the war and World War II and all like that, and then, you know, small town police,
I mean, yeah, Daddy and them, I mean, they picked up AWOL guys. I mean, you know, they had some pretty bad stuff. I mean,
And then, I mean, he was there during all the bombing of London. You know, they killed tens of thousands of people. They had to go in there, you know, the B1, B2 bombs, all that. That was part of their job. They had to go police all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you remember when your daddy broke your leg?
I don't remember that, but I've heard the story enough times.
That's like Brandy gets mad when I tell about her pouring the water out.
Yeah.
I don't remember that either, but I've heard the story.
I was gonna say I've heard the stories.
Yep. Well, Bobby Lee was a rounder when he was growing up. He was kind of like Dennis the Menace. Yeah, we were working on a fence out there
Mr. Roberts.
on Mr. Roberts' place, and Big Bub and EJ were there.
I remember it must have been about 115 degrees or.
I don't remember being real hot, but I know you was cutting up. You was doing stuff, and you, after he told you about the third time to quit doing something, he took a rope and just, I don't know,
It was a kid's rope. His rope.
Yeah, and he,
Like a
and
lasso?
probably, and he got him. We had a little two-wheel trailer, maybe been behind a three-wheeler or four-wheeler or whatever. But man, Bobby, you just kind of pitched him over in that trailer. Oh man, Bobby Lee goes, "Oh God, Mama, I think Dad just broke my leg." Of course, he was kicking. He was kicking like a. It was funny. I thought EJ and Big Bub were going. That was so funny. I'll never forget that. As long as I live.
Well, that, you know, and you talk about Big Bub and them. I can actually still remember when we used to dehorn and work all the cattle. Because Big Bub, I remember him sitting over there, but I can remember, you know, them old thing. I guess that's still how they still do it that way.
Yeah, big old long handles on. But some of the best things about that would be like we'd have a cow that would calve, and some of the best ones, they wouldn't shed their afterbirth. Sometimes, a rarity, but they sometimes, and if they didn't shed it after a few days, you had to get it out. And boy, it would be raunchy.
Yeah.
And we would make Big Bub hold the tail. It would be so funny. He'd be gagging. His tongue would come out. He'd just gag, and I would laugh. I said, "What's wrong with you?"
Had a little bit of weak.
I would take my time.
Of course, pull it out. You know, might sling a little over there, you know, on his foot or something. You know, and then.
He would chew a cigar a lot of times. He didn't bite it in two.
Yeah, I can remember that a little bit. Now that the cattle side there. Now y'all got it was commercial beef.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Now I know you've told me Paw was even got to the point where he kind of discouraged y'all from buying land. Because you told me we've driven past ground. I know you've been like, yeah, we could have bought that and stuff. Why was that?
Well, no, it wasn't that. I mean, he was so tickled. Out there where I live, like I said, our great-granddaddy bought that farm. And when did he die? In the 40s?
41.
And when he died, and I really don't know what went on with that, but the farm was sold off.
Half of it.
And one of his sons bought half of it. That was Uncle Clyde. And the other, and I don't know who bought the other part, but they always called it the Wiseman place.
Yeah.
But Mr. Robert Wooten wound up with it. And he was a really straightforward man. He was one of our best friends. He came in the shop one day and says, "Curtis, them boys of yours need to buy that farm out there." He said, I'll sell it to him. He had the price set on it. He said, I'll finance and everything. Of course, we did, and we went through the bank. But Daddy was so tickled because that's where him and Uncle Leonard were born, right there in front of where I live now.
Yeah.
That clump of trees is still there. That's the reason I've never cleaned up that clump of trees is because that's where that house was.
Gotcha.
And so we got it, and Uncle Clyde's had since he had died, and he had several kids. Well, they had a for sale sign on that. And anyway, we got with them and told them that we had bought the original half over here, and we got with them, and they agreed to a price, and so we got the whole farm back together like it originally was in 1899. So that's how that all got started.
Gotcha.
And then, like I say, Daddy bought that farm over there.
Well, we moved out there in '57. I'm not sure exactly when they bought it because, they remodeled the house. And
Yeah.
so he had it for a little while before we moved out there. But
How would they buy back then? I mean, would the banks lend pretty easily back then?
I think it went through the bank.
Because I know you said they were pretty much poor coming up.
Yeah, but,
I mean, Daddy was making money then.
yeah, after World War II, it was kind of a little bit of a boom.
And gosh, land prices
Yeah,
wasn't like they are today, but I
Yeah.
mean, even $100 was
a lot of money.
a lot of money then compared, now.
Yeah, and they worked hard. Hell, they worked 6 days a week at the shop.
Oh, yeah.
And they got there, they started, at what time? 6:30.
And worked till 5 or 6 in the afternoon, and even worked on Saturday.
Yeah, and
But and I'll tell you, we fed square bales hay, and Daddy, he built a feedlot,
yeah.
concrete, and
First-
actually we built a second one.
Well,
as
the
well.
first one was too close to the house. Mama
Oh,
didn't,
yeah.
like the smell.
Well, but I'm gonna tell you, I was little. I couldn't have been over 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, and you were 5 years older. In the wintertime, he had 2 groups of cattle over there at that farm.
We had our heifers in one group.
Had gates on both ends of that feedlot, and had the feeders lined up on this concrete thing. His job on Saturdays was to clean the feedlot off. But me and Bob had to put the hay out. We had to feed the cows all week long. We'd go out there in the mornings dark, put lights out there where we could see. We had to put hay in them feeders. And we did this every morning. This was before round bales. This was 7 days a week.
We let the day group in.
One group would eat during the day, push them off, and then you'd have a group that eat at night. But we'd come home from school, we'd have to load our trailer up. We'd go out there and we'd fill them feeders up with hay. Then we'd come back and we'd load our trailer back up for in the morning. This was 7 days a
Put it in,
week.
put it on. I guess back out of the barns or somewhere, but in the dry.
Yeah, and then Daddy, like I say, on Saturday when they would close the shop, they got to where they was closing at noon. He cleaned that feedlot off on Saturday evening. The only time Daddy fed cows was maybe on Sunday morning. Maybe on Sunday afternoon. The other day, it was me and Bob over here. It was us.
Well, I
And
remember.
Mama would have our breakfast ready. When we got through feeding the cows, we'd come up there to eat, and then we'd get on the school bus and go to school.
Well, I remember he was good about looking back at equipment too, especially if he was raking hay. I know I've heard good stories him raking hay, and it'd be a mound just where it'd wad up in the rake, and he just wouldn't turn around and look at it.
Well, me and Uncle Lemuel did the majority of the hay after Bob because he was going to school, and me and Bob did a lot of the hay, and I don't know, I guess the International, we started running them test balers for them. Oh heck, they started trying to get in the round bale business in the mid '70s, and they were a piece of junk.
The first baler I ran was a baler that the engineering department built at the plant in Memphis. They had taken
It was a Vermeer baler.
Vermeer and they
pattern.
reverse engineered it, and they hand built this baler, and it was twine, but it didn't even have. You make the roll. They didn't have a knife system
You have to get
worked
off
out
the quick.
yet. You had to get
Oh,
off.
dang.
You had to get off, cut the string.
Wow.
It was pretty slow process.
Yeah.
I remember, we ran that, and
I remember one day, man, you rolled 120 rolls with 2 round boilers. Oh man, we thought we had done something. And man, I can roll 250 or 60 rolls a day. I'm talking about 6 foot rolls. I ain't talking about little 4 foot rolls. And stuff. I'm talking about big rolls. But those damn things, you would choke them up.
and the belts would break.
They would choke up, and you get off, and you would cut, and you turn. You have to turn the baler backwards, and you get on there, and you wouldn't go 50 feet, and you do it again. Oh, I'd cry, I'd cuss, and it was terrible. And I remember we got the first John Deere baler. That song was like getting out of a Volkswagen into a Cadillac. Dang! And that's what we've run ever since. The John Deere's.
First John Deere was a 510.
510 for us. They had a 500, but first one we got was 510. We had the 510s, 530s, 35s, 66s, 67s.
Yeah, y'all kept the one you got now longer than any you've ever had.
Yeah, I think I've rolled about 15,000 rolls with it.
And it's
It's still a good baler, but it's never been rained on. I mean, you can't even tell what color it is. It's so dirty. I've never even washed it off. I mean, we blow it off. And,
Yeah,
But
blown
it's-
it off and greased it.
we've kept it. Never had a bearing go out. Ever.
But those
I've put chains on it, but that's it.
those belts on those international balers, they had
Catgut.
catgut lacings, and
Oh,
they'd break. The
Roll them up
lacings,
in a roll.
the lacings pull out.
Oh, we got our own belt lacer over there.
we could.
I think I've seen that. I
It's
think
back there in the
Yeah.
shop.
Well, it's probably around, but I
It's
hope
in
I
a-
never see it
Oh,
again.
I know exactly where it is. It's in the birdhouse.
Yeah, I think you've shown me that.
It's an antique too, man.
Which, just for our broader house, you just mentioned the birdhouse. So y'all raise quail.
Oh yeah, big time.
So that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
We
that
have
was,
mentioned the
that was a
birdhouse
big-
on
we
here.
always mention their headquarters is called the birdhouse, which
Well,
kind of doesn't make any sense now because it's just a.
well, to back up, that first feedlot that Mama didn't want that close to the house, it had a concrete slab. So since Daddy had to build another feedlot with another slab further away, that one was sitting there, and decided to go into quail business with a couple of his friends, the Wooten brothers, and he built a metal building there on that slab, and they were partners. He was partners with the Wootens on the incubator. They had a Petersheim incubator.
It was a big one. It was pretty.
It was made out of redwood. It was, I don't remember the exact dimensions, but I know it was 8
huge.
feet long, and it was probably 6 feet tall and 4 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
And it would hold 21 or 22,000 quail eggs.
Dang.
Yeah.
That would be 4 weeks worth of settings and the trays in the bottom, the hatching trays. And I don't think we ever had it completely full, but we had a lot of.
And I guarantee you, nobody's killed as many quail as I have. I was the killer when they would they'd process. Okay, probably process a couple hundred at a time, or maybe more than that.
More than that. I think we'd do like 500.
I'd pull the heads off of every single one. I'd kill 10 at a time, and had a barrel, a garbage, a plastic barrel. I'd be blood red. I thought that was so cool. I'd wear a white T-shirt.
He was just a kid, a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, so they were raising some just for meat, but then some they would.
They had
Release.
a hunting preserve out on
McCormick
Road.
Road.
And
Because did you say they would sling them around?
they had guides. They had good bird dogs. People paid to hunt. They would release those birds. They would release. They had a little cage or something. They'd put them in. I think they would swing them around to get them disoriented, and they would place them around, and so they knew where they were and about. But the dogs had to hunt, and the dogs would point, And the birds would fly. I mean, it was like actual quail hunting. I mean, but
Right.
they were guaranteed they were going to be shooting at some quail.
Yeah.
They would, like, plant a number of quail the day of, well, they do it every day, but they were going to shoot. But now a lot of those birds survived, and if they lived out there for a few weeks, they were wild again.
Oh, yeah.
And so you had different levels of.
Did you ever bust any quail up there in Covington?
I did see some quail up there. I remember because I made a remark, I saw some quail up there, and you tell me that Glenn boy, I think, had released some.
He had released some, and I'll never forget, I was cutting beans up there one night, and it was like 10:30.
Yeah.
And this was back before politics had gotten into football, and I had NFL Mobile playing while I was cutting, and I was watching the Cowboys, and just out of nowhere, I was cutting, and just these birds just exploded up right in front of the header. Scared the crap out of me, and it was what they call them, a covey of quail. Man, they blew up out of there. But the predators, I think, are just hell on them quail.
Yeah. I hadn't heard a quail holler, and I couldn't even tell you.
Last one I heard was down at Bobby Lee's farm, which was several years ago, and I found one dead on the road probably about 5 years ago, right there where Starnes Road comes out on North Gilpin.
I worked some ground in Shelby County that's, there's a quail farm over there, and I've seen them come out in the field.
Well, there was I saw this bird on the edge of the road dead. I said, that looked like a quail. I actually went on down, I stopped, turned around, came back, and it was a rooster quail.
Huh.
Yeah. And I mean, been hit by a car.
Yeah.
So, but of course, y'all processed some for meat. How did y'all sell those? Just
They froze them. We had an uncle that worked at Turner Dairy for Turner, and he was able to get a hold of these plastic containers that they sold ice cream in. And there was a little production, little line. Like I say, they had one skin in them, had one gut in them, had them washing them, and they packaged them in these things, and they filled them with water, and they put them in the freezer.
would y'all just sell them direct off the farm, or?
Yeah. People would come in, they'd buy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
I think it was
It
four.
wasn't any
no-
internet or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
Word
But there was
of
no regulation.
But
Yeah,
you wouldn't believe the people that would buy quail. They'd come in and want to buy 4 or 5 quail,
Buckets of-
live quail,
Oh, really?
live quail.
mouth. When
And we'd catch them, and they would take them home with them.
when I was a teenager, I don't know if you were or not, Tim, there was an old guy that had owned an insurance company down in Germantown. He was old back then, but a big bird dog enthusiast. I think he'd been to the Nationals, the Ames Plantation.
Mm-hmm.
He was so old he couldn't really follow the dogs anymore, so he had like a Jeep Wagoneer that before they had moonroofs, he had a moonroof put in one, and they could follow the dogs in that Jeep, and when the dogs would point, he could raise up and shoot out of that roof. Was his name Jones, or do you remember?
I don't remember. I just remember them.
He bought 500 quail. We boxed them up, and we put them on an old Jeep pickup, Daddy and I, and we drove down, and you know where Germantown Parkway is?
Oh, yeah.
It was a 2-lane road then. We drove to Germantown and went to his house, and it was an old house then. He couldn't hardly see. He had lights brighter than these that you have set up, and he had to get over and he wrote the check out. He looked at the birds first. He inspected them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to tell you what he called his people that helped him,
Mm-hmm.
because he was he was Old South.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And but we had them in boxes made for poultry or quail at that time, and we carried them on that old 1963 Jeep pickup.
So was he
truck.
releasing them and hunting them?
Yeah, that was what it was for. I mean, he was going to release them on his own place, hunt his own dogs, on those birds. So yeah.
When they first started buying, they bought eggs from, was it Warwick or somebody?
Someplace over in Arkansas.
But the guy that rode the horse
Yeah.
in one of the commercials, Was
Mr.
it the-
Clean,
Mis-
Mr. Clean, or
was it-
something like that.
One of the TV commercials were the guys riding on a white horse in a suit of armor. It's who they were buying the eggs from. The guy
Oh,
that rode
really?
that horse, yeah.
Well, then how did we go from that then to the pecans too? Because I know you
Well,
got a whole
yeah,
pecan
that's-
orchard.
that was before the quail.
Oh yeah.
Probably as soon as we moved out there, he started putting out pecan trees. Yeah.
Because they got it's pretty neat. I mean, that shaker. I mean, it was a full pecan setup with that shaker. I remember seeing it. It'd clamp on a tree and
Oh yeah.
shake and.
Well, your daddy was probably the only one that ever ran that.
They went to Oklahoma. I think Robert went out there and got it. Went to Oklahoma and got it. Okarche, Oklahoma.
The shaker.
Yes, a Savage. And that's
We still got it somewhere.
Are the trees?
Oh,
They're
yeah,
too.
it's a
Are they
shed.
too big for it now?
No.
no. Some of them may be. It opens up pretty wide.
I know there's a widow maker on the limbs.
Oh yeah, you have to have a topper on
Would
the tractor.
you use the 5,000?
We had a 5,000 Ford and we put a top on it.
Did we have a canopy on it?
Mm-hmm.
You did.
We didn't
whenever-
for a while, but we did.
I say it did by the time I used it to
Yeah.
cut hay. And
Heck, we didn't have our first cab tractor till we bought that 1175, that case. We bought it in the late 80s. I rolled hay. I rolled thousands of rolls of hay with no cab on the tractor.
Uh,
You know,
when did we? When did we go to Gum Slough? And remember we had we ran that tractor down there. Was it when we put it in CRP or took it out?
took it out. No, that's when we put it in. And you talking about when the motor went down?
Yeah,
there.
we got.
Motor went down there and dust got in there. It was so dry. Yeah, that's when we were seeding
It
it.
was something wrong with the filter.
Mm,
On the 1175.
Yeah, that was a good tractor.
it was.
so when did? Of course, I know Dad graduated in '80 from vet school, but when did y'all really get started doing your own thing with Circle H?
About 1983.
Well, as soon as I moved back, which is like '82, when we bought that first farm from Mr. Robert, we paid for them. Tim did most of the work. We had bottle calves.
I was about to say,
We'd buy. Then there were several dairies around, which I don't guess there's any now.
No.
You could get the bull calves.
Get some heifer calves. Some that they heifers, first calf heifers, they'd breed them to like a small, maybe an Angus bull or something where they
Yeah.
wouldn't throw a big calf.
well, they all do that now.
But I'd feed 10 at a time, and that's what I told Logan's raised a bunch of calves, and I said, make them drink it out of a bucket.
Yeah.
Don't put them on a bottle. Don't ever let a calf suck a bottle, ever. When you get them, get a bucket and make them drink it like water.
Oh, they'll drink it a hell of a lot faster too.
Oh hell, that's so much easier to clean up, and you can give them a whole gallon of liquid, same amount of milk, and you're satisfying them.
Well, we put together the little pallet thing where we
Yeah.
could put 2 in there at a time.
Yeah. But I'd feed 5 at a time. I had a thing 5 could run in at a time, and I had them trained.
And then we did that Mormon system. I don't know if that was
I
good or
didn't-
better. Or
I don't know. I
What
don't
was
know.
that?
It's where you had one nipple on the wall, and you mix up. They had something in that milk that wouldn't go bad. You'd mix up like
keep it from spoiling.
25 or 30 gallons at a time,
It's just
and they
free
would,
choice.
They would just go up there and they would suck it whenever they wanted it.
Surprised they wouldn't scour if it's free
Well, it didn't.
choice.
It didn't take off. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole lot easier doing it the other way.
Yeah.
But I could wean a calf on 2.5, 3 bags of milk, but we had alfalfa on the Rose Farm. We bought it from Mr. Robert, and we had alfalfa on it too.
See, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we had we fooled with alfalfa ever since I was a little old kid. We had alfalfa up until he had alfalfa behind the barn even after he took it out of cotton.
yeah, we. If you're gonna have alfalfa and Bermuda grass is a lot easier, and you got to have different equipment, especially on the cutter.
You got to have a conditioner for alfalfa.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess when the disc mowers came out, and you could just cut your mow the grass, and then maybe run a tiller through it second day, and then rake it and bale it on the third day. That was a whole lot easier. It was a little bit more forgiving. Alfalfa, conditions had to be a little bit better. If you weren't careful, you'd lose the leaves. I really liked alfalfa. Alfalfa, once it's baled, is a lot easier to handle. It may be heavier, but it makes bales like bricks.
Oh, yeah.
It'll stack.
Good, yeah.
It'll
I
stack.
stacked some in the barn about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it's heavier.
All this equipment to everything from accumulators to the old bell wagons, all like that, they're pretty much designed to handle alfalfa.
Yeah, the accumulator was not designed for lightweight stuff, because I know the last place I ever ran it, or one of the last places I ran it, was when we did wheat straw on Mr. Roberts.
Yeah,
And we had it on the 9600. And just because that was like the only free tractor at the time. And, that's the one, like, too, when you'd go to put it in gear, you'd have to sit there because it would kind of grind and then finally go into gear. And that accumulator was terrible in wheat straw. They would kind of float up on top of the ground, and that's when I thought I broke my hand out there, because I punched the accumulator, which is a metal accumulator, so it was a dumb decision, but I punched it just out of being mad because it kept
Well, that's
messing up. It would hang up on me because they were so lightweight.
Yeah, it's a whole lot better running that thing on a little D tractor.
Yeah, that little 870. That's the thing I like running it
all
on.
one of them hydrostatic.
Oh yeah,
Because you're having to get on and off.
Yeah.
So much. And,
Well, your wife, Kaylin, ran it, and she never got off tractor.
yeah.
She never had a bit of trouble.
No,
she
first time.
Just fly through the field, and never had a bit of trouble. I don't know, y'all were just doing something. Y'all just never did figure out how to run it.
now well y'all put a board extended
That helped. That helped. You gave it a little more leverage.
yeah.
None of those
asked,
gates.
we should have asked Kaylin what she did, how she ran it, because she didn't have any trouble.
Oh, I'd have so much trouble. I needed to go to church after I got done running that thing. But I liked running it with the 870. Yeah, I don't know if I ran it one time at your house with a little hydrostat tractor, I think.
Yeah.
But-
that
Well,
one
I
was
tell you
really
what,
good. I ran it
we're
last year.
we're probably gonna run it Saturday, because we're gonna cut some hay tomorrow, and we're gonna probably square baby it on Saturday.
Well, going
There's no rain to worry about.
No.
That's what I'm gonna say. We ain't got to worry about that.
going from that, how did the transition kind of into row crop come about?
Well, I'll
Well-
tell you. Let me tell you how that went about. In 1994, we had that terrible ice storm, and we had 300 between us and Uncle Em. We had 350 mama cows. I mean, we had a lot of cows.
I had told people at one time we had over 300 head.
Yeah, we did, and but that ice storm, we had miles and miles of fence through the woods, and it just decimated the fences.
At one time, we had 20 miles of fence. And I'm not talking about Uncle Enos. I'm talking about me and Tim and what we had at Mom and Daddy's. We had 20 miles of fence.
It takes a long time to walk around a 20-mile fence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's perimeter fences, cross fences. We had 20 miles.
And yeah, most all of it's either in the woods or
Yeah.
it's in a
Or close to trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ice storm tore up those fences so bad, especially out there on Mr. Roberts' place, that we cut way back on the pasture range, and we worked some of the ground, started working some of the ground, and when we rented that farm, Mr. Robert, like I said, he was straightforward when we bought that farm from him out there. He came in the shop one day and he goes, "Hey, I want you boys to rent my farm." Said, "I'll rent it to you for," I don't forget now, like $5,000.
Yeah, they told me, he called me.
He said, he didn't ask us.
He said,
He,
this is what
he said, y'all gonna rent my farm. He said, I'm gonna keep the pasture behind the barn in the barn. He kept about 12 or 15 cows, 10 cows.
Well, at some point, he said, getting out completely, and he said, this is what you're going to pay me for the cows. And
Well, I'm talking about though, he had cows for a few years, just him and Mr. Bob Brister helped him. He had about 2 or 3 years after that, he come down and says, "Hey, you boys, y'all gonna buy my cows. I'm gonna rent you the rest of that pasture out there. I'm gonna want $5,500 a year." He said, "You got this farm as long as I live, and for a year after my death." And then said, "You'll deal with my son Mac."
Yeah.
And hell, I don't even know. That was in the 80s. That was the late 80s, probably 90. And Mr. Robert lived to be 98 years old.
Yeah, because I
And
remember
he was
seeing him on the road.
He might have been 80 at this time or whatever. But I was what I was telling Tanya. Hell, I've been on that farm since 75, 76. That's how long we've been on that farm.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And-
cutting hay on it
And we had the opportunity to buy it, but we were buying other stuff.
It was
And
really better farms.
than that place.
Yeah,
But
a lot of sentimental value in that
and-
place.
Well, it meant if money had been growing on trees. I mean, in retrospect,
and they wanted a bunch of money from it.
Yeah.
From us.
yeah. Had we known what it was going to eventually sell for, we might have bit. But you know, we're still working it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And
But how did you start? So the row crop, how did you get started?
well, like I said, I started Frankie first. We had corn and stuff, and I let Frankie, our neighbor, because I didn't have a planter at the time. He planted. Then I did buy a planter. I don't know. This was all going on.
In the 90s?
Started working a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Started working a little bit. And then me and Joe Bibb rented a farm. I tell you, Daddy died unexpectedly in 2000. And Daddy was scared to death that I was going to start farming. I mean, we were farming, but I'm talking about he really thought I was going to really blow up and really start.
And he
farming a
wanted you
lot.
at the shop.
Well, he said, this is where you make your living.
He thought it was too risky.
He said, this is where you make your living.
He might be right.
He goes, I like to farm too, but he said, this is where you make your living. But hell, we got to where we couldn't make a living there either. I mean,
Yeah.
it was, we just, all those zones, and we got a lot of competition and stuff coming in there, and people wasn't loyal to you like
Oh, yeah.
as they used to be. A lot of them were, but a lot of them weren't. But anyway, and then Joe he didn't want to farm anymore, so I kept on, and I don't know, I just kept adding a few acres to it here and there, and that was the first thing you know, I was working several hundred acres, 800 acres or whatever, but I couldn't keep up with that and trying to run that business up there and trying to take care of the people that were working there, and so got the opportunity when all my men got older and they all started drawing Social Security. I just shut the shop down and rented it out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the opportunity came along. I was able to get rid of the store up there as well, and I really beefed it up. And then a neighbor that we were helping a lot, he passed away, and we picked up most of his ground too. So we exploded on out there pretty big, and you were helping us too.
Yeah, I remember that. I still, the 16, I guess it was that 1688 combine. Man, I was glad to see that one go. Because I think that was the one, by the time you got rid of it was breaking down a bunch. I remember it throwing that pulley off the side of it.
Yeah.
We were out there, I think, actually cutting the field right by the shop when it would launch that pulley, because it would choke up. And I remember it had like a big wrench or something. Wouldn't you have to manually?
I don't know. They've come a long way on combines now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we ran them red balers, and we started running red green balers, and same thing. We got our first John Deere combine.
Yeah, because you ran a 1688 and then a 2388.
Yeah.
But you had a Massey Ferguson.
Oh, I had a 1440. I've had we had a 715, a 1440.
Is the
Went up to a 1680, then a 2388. No, I bought that old Massey Ferguson. I bought it to sell. I bought it for nothing.
Okay, that's the one my landlords has. Every time I
Yeah.
go over there, he's like, "Yes, I bought that from your daddy."
Well, the 715 still out there at the old horse barn, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think Logan and them busted the windshield out of it.
Oh,
I don't think I busted the windshield
Yeah,
out.
you did. Y'all was playing paintball or something.
Oh well, paintballs
Probably
probably
the same
did.
time you nearly burnt the
Probably
barn
time.
down.
Yeah, I was gonna say when we were smoking cigars and caught the barn on fire. Yeah, that paintballs may have busted the windows out. But then, so what was combine after 2388? Was that the 9770?
Yeah,
But that was the
97.
last case, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
The first John Deere tractor we bought was a 4440.
was that the pulling one?
Yeah.
That was a bad dude.
I remember
Good
that tractor.
tractor.
Don
It's-
Dixon had it.
They've still got it, I guess, unless they sold it.
It used to be sitting over there, but I don't know.
But
It would lope. It had a good like a lope to
it
it.
was a good tractor. But
Then you had a 45, 55.
had 45, 55, 47.
That was a good
60.
tractor.
Yeah,
I liked the 4760. I just knew it started having issues when we got rid of it.
We got,
I mean, we've had a bunch of tractors.
yeah.
Because your first 8,000 was a 8120.
Yeah, Bob, you bought it, I think, and then so we got 83. Had a couple of 8330s, and 8345 is. It's a jam up good tractor.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of horsepower. Of course, you know, we've been leasing the tractor for the last 2 or 3 years, and we're down a tractor, so, you know. But man, stuff has done gotten so expensive now. It's tough for anybody young wanting to get into farming now. This is a bad year.
Yeah.
That's what
Last year was not a good year. This year,
It's going to call out some folks this year.
Well,
Yeah.
that's been kind of the theme, which that's kind
Last
of our-
year and this year, back to back, it's going to.
I'm gonna tell you, if you can't make 60 bushel and better on your yields on soybeans, you're not gonna make any money.
Yeah.
And if you can't make 200 bushel or more on your corn, you're not gonna make any money.
Not this year.
Yeah, you're just not gonna make any
Yeah.
money. That marginal ground out there that they're making 35 and 40 bushel on, it's not worth working.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I'm just telling people that. I mean, it's not.
Now you're going to lose money on it.
You're gonna lose your butt.
I think that reality is hitting everybody smack in the face.
And we know where the good soil is. The further away you get from
The river.
these rivers,
Yeah.
Mississippi River, really good soil out to a certain place. Then you got your Hatchie River. You can follow those bottoms with it. You got those rivers. You can stay close to them. Well, you get away from there and you get on over towards Middle Tennessee.
Oh,
Hell, that damn ground over there. That's why you see some cows over there. 'Cause
you
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
right here in West Tennessee, you get 2 counties away from the river, you'll start falling off.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, those cow guys in Middle Tennessee they're smiling,
happy.
They're smiling pretty well.
Yeah.
Yo.
Selling $2,000 calves.
you should have come up, and I mean you did come up, but you didn't know what was going on. Cow prices were so cheap
Oh yeah.
back in the 90s, I guess, that we didn't even sell any heifers. They wouldn't bring $200.
Yeah.
They wasn't worth selling, so we would keep them. And we just keep them all. And they would just breed them. God dang, boy.
Yeah, and
We
get
had some
bad
of the awfulest dang cows. So we always ran really good bulls. But we had that one damn bull.
Romeo. Yeah, that's
Was
for
it
me.
Simbra.
Yeah.
For me, growing up, that's a lot of one. I didn't want nothing to do with cattle after being around them cows.
And we still got just a little bit of that.
Oh, I know my beef, that one I called Mo. I had Mo and Curly, my 2 bulls last year. They were bottle calves that I raised, and I sold one of them to one of our neighbors. He wanted him for a breeding bull. He was a good-looking bull, and I sold him. And he told me he was crazy as hell. He said, "Man, he tried to eat us up." And the one I took one and had it processed.
Oh, you talking about Eddie?
I am.
Well, he just may not like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen dogs that didn't like. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, when I took him, loaded him to take him to the processor, the other one, and these were bulls I could go out there and, I could pet him on the hip. He tried to tear me up in the sweep tub. So, yeah, I think that bloodline was still in him a little bit.
But then he said he settled right.
Oh, we
on that.
He said after it started getting after some of the ladies, he said he tamed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
He said
we named some out there
Yeah.
that they were so bad.
That white one's still the baddest one I ever remember.
Yeah. We had one we called the Haint.
Yeah, she was out there, Mr. Robbins.
348 was her brand. That's when we used to brand them. Oh, she died on the farm. You wasn't gonna load her. That's where she died. She went to cow heaven right out there.
That's the one that just about got Lee out there.
Man,
She was trying to calve. She had a breech. And
our cousin, Uncle Emil's son.
we were going, so we went out there, and of course couldn't get her up. She was wild, feral.
Oh,
We had ropes, and we had a little old, kind of an island between 2 big gullies.
She was out there.
One way in, one way out.
She was hid on it.
It was such a narrow opening way into that place that it was kind of growed up. You couldn't get in there to use a bush hog or anything. And I remember Lee had a big old long denim jumper or chore coat, and he was short compared to
Short
the rest
legs.
of the Hankses. And
Yeah, he was questionable.
yeah, and so and much as I loved him, he did not have any cow sense. So anyway, and he couldn't rope. So
I told him.
Well, say I got that.
You know, and I told him, I said, Lee, if you'll go in there and run her out,
he was the chosen one.
well, I said, we will get a rope on her when she comes out, because it was only one way out.
Well, he went in.
He did.
He went in, and it was tall weeds and stuff, and you could hear the commotion. You could see the leaves and the weeds shaking, and I heard, ah!
Damn, y'all needed a GoPro.
Yeah.
He went down.
Here with the cow come out.
I think the cow jumped over him. He fell and jogged, come over. Did we catch her there or not?
No, shot her and killed her.
Well, anyway, we didn't catch her.
Yeah.
And
We had to.
anyway,
I mean,
we
she
ended
was-
up. We were close to town, and said she's gonna get out. She's crazy. Another attempt or two, and she's going somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we shot.
I could
her.
imagine her getting loose in
We
the
shot her.
subdivision.
We shot her right there.
Well,
mean,
I-
she
She'd
would've
have killed
killed
somebody, and we'd been liable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you.
she was bad.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you a story about Don Dixon. We were talking, he recently passed away, and he was a real good friend of ours. And he came in the shop one day, and he saw us kind of getting ready to go out. I said, "What are y'all fixing to do?" And I said, "Oh, we got to go over and load some cows." "Oh man, I'll go over there. I want to go over there too."
He's gonna help.
We've always been, pretty good size in cow business. And we had good facility over there too. You could manhandle pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had a trailer backed in there, and we had some rough guns in there from out there off Walker Field. We had hauled them in there.
It wasn't too far removed. Daddy gave us a set of heifers. They were direct daughters of Romeo.
Because they were so cheap, they wouldn't worth
Well,
selling.
I mean, he gave us, I don't know, it was 25 head probably. And that was the start of our herd over there. And that's where the Hank came from.
Yeah.
But I remember we was in there loading them some guns. And, of course, it's a miracle somebody didn't get killed. But anyway, got them on trailer and everything. And I know we was leaving there, and Don goes, "Tim," he said, "Man, I ain't gonna lie to you." He said, "I was scared." He said, "I have never in my life seen any cows as wild as those cows were there." And I said,
And
Don, I said, "Those cows are not wild." I said, "A wild cow will see you and run off." I said, "These son of guns will hunt you down." They were the meanest. If you climbed over trying to get out of the corral, and we had tall corrals.
Oh yeah.
They would rear up off the ground and try to get you off of the wall before you get over. I think if they could bite you, they would have bit you too. I mean, that's how mean they were.
We
And
were getting some up off on the east side of the road out there at Mr. Roberts. And you had that corral set up.
Is that the sweet tub when we headed over there?
And didn't have a sweet tub, did we?
I don't know, we bought it to keep them get killed.
But we had some trials in there, and we started feeding them in there, and they'd come in there and feed. Anyway, we captured a bunch inside that corral, and we was trying to load them. And we had some pretty big bulls, and that's when the big bull hit my. I remember when it was 2004.
Little Atkins was helping us.
Little Ron, yeah.
Little Ron, he helped us for about a year or two.
I had a good stick, and I hit one, and he was coming right at me. I hit him, and he kept coming. I jumped over in a trough, but he hit me in the thigh. And
I remember. He was holding
all
on.
I could do was get over in that trough,
I told him.
and I looked around for help, and all I could see was assholes and elbows.
There was
going over the
nobody.
fence.
There was no reason for anybody else to get hurt.
That's what when Bobby Lee got hit by that bull. Buddy up here at Spirits of Atoka told me, he said, "Man, why didn't y'all get in there? Why didn't you get in there and help him?" And I said, "Wasn't no reason, and none of the rest of us getting smoked." That was
We
I thought that.
we got them loaded.
I thought that's when you had the sweet tub, because that was that big bull that would just pick the thing up.
No, this was in 2004.
That's before we had a tub.
Because
Gotcha.
it tore my quadriceps. And for about, I don't know, several months after that, I couldn't bend that leg all the way. And I don't know, it was several months later, we had a big dog in the office, Great Dane. They were trying to do something in the floor, and they were having trouble with it. So I squatted down real quick, and that thing said, "Pow!" and it broke loose.
Dang.
And it was, I'd had some scar tissue in there, and it was good. Yeah. And then a couple of years later, I was trying to go down a creek bank, and it tore again. And I tore it bad, all completely that time. And it's been tore ever since. I got a knot
Dang.
in the front of my leg.
Well,
And I asked my general practitioner about it, and he said, "Well, you ain't gonna have surgery." And he said, "It's too late now anyway."
well, you know, and your granddaddy, his
Yeah.
death was a result
Getting
of a
kicked
cow
by-
injury.
Yeah.
Getting kicked by a cow.
That's, yeah, he got kicked in the knee when we was working cows one day, because we had an operation over there. We would run them cattle through there. Oh hell, I don't know how many we'd run through there. We'd run, because we had over 100 mama cows there, and on that one place. Man, and we had Daddy and Lee were tail men.
We would run.
They would pack that chute full.
We would do successive weekends there. We would work Saturday and Sunday, but we would work about 450 between Daddy, Uncle Emil,
Double
their,
bridges.
their combination together, and then me and you.
Yeah.
And we had 2 bunches of cows ourselves, and it'd be about, I mean, we'd work several weekends in a row to get everything covered, and we'd work them twice a year. We were doing a good job as far as coverage, but we had more labor. Now it's me and Tim, you guys.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how to. If you hadn't been around cows, you don't know how to be around. I mean, you don't know the first thing to do.
Yeah.
That's why I do
Cow
almost
scent.
all mine by myself.
Cow sense, that's what I'm talking
You got
about.
to have cow sense.
But finish the story about Daddy.
We were working cows, and I remember the cow. She was brand in '95, big old black cow, and I was head man. We all had our job. Of course, she was automatic. Cows would catch, but I still had a lever. I made sure it caught them, and I was a wormer. I wormed them, implanted anything that needed to be implanted, and usually Ron was there. He would vaccinate. Uncle Emmy would be on the other side. He would vaccinate or pour on, according to what we're doing. You were vaccinating. If we pregnancy checked, we had a palpation cage on there. He could walk in behind them, pregnancy test them. But we could run a cow in there.
We were quick.
We were quick. Less than a minute, we had a cow in there, in and out. And if they was open, they would go to the right. If they was pregnant, they'd go to the pasture. We'd separate the calves before we'd work. We was on a 90-day program, so all the calves were the same size. And but yeah, we was going, and all of a sudden, cows and they would keep the chute packed full. They'd keep about 7, 8 cows in there. They was just nose to, tail. And I mean, as soon as one ran out, tailgate came up, nothing in. I mean, it was just a non-stop process. We didn't sit there and look around, and I mean, when it was just steady. And all of a sudden, cows was like getting up on top of each other and stuff. Look around, Daddy's on the ground in there, and our chutes were narrow. Cows were just squeezing through them. And he's down, and so we stopped and we helped him get out and got him out there. And I remember we sat him down. He goes, "Look at my knee." He said, "It'll just go in any direction." He said, "It'll go in any direction, just all over the place." And I knew he done messed his knee up bad. I mean, it was a big old cow. She kicked him right in the knee. I mean, just messed it up. And dang, if he didn't get back in there And
Oh,
was
he
just,
didn't
just swinging his leg, just swinging his leg. The next day, his leg turned black from his foot all the way up to his hip. Never went to the doctor. All right. A couple of years went by. Finally went to see Riley Jones, I believe. Then they do some arthroscopic, what they call it. They went there and poked a few holes in there and did some stuff. Well, it was just killing him. He was dragging his foot, and finally, he'd been talking to different ones that had knee replacement.
Doctor said.
Talked how well they did and all
And that
this.
Proctor guy.
Ralph Proctor, he had, and he said, "Oh, Ralph Proctor had one done. He's back on the tractor there in so many weeks and all that." And so he went down and had his knee replaced. And about 7 days after that,
Had done on Thursday and come home on a Monday. Went back for
physical
PT
therapy.
every day on, I guess, Thursday. Had a different physical therapist.
Yeah.
They said, "You're breathing kind of funny. Are you okay?" He said, "Oh yeah, you just wearing me out." They thrown a damn embolus.
Mm-hmm.
Had a pulmonary embolus.
He had a blood clot in his lung.
Yeah.
He came home, and later that night, they would kept
World
trying to
Series,
get him. Kept trying to get him. Said, "Let's take you to the emergency room." The doctor's office wouldn't call back,
Oh yeah.
and World Series going on. He was sitting there watching World Series. I went to check on him, on the way home. He said, "Nah." I said, "I ain't going." I said, "Anything going on?" I said, "I got to go to PT in the morning." I said, they'll check me out. The morning never came.
Yeah.
Yeah, mother called. I remember your mom answered the phone and says, Tim, you got to get over to your dad. Your dad's passed out." And when she told me that Dad had passed out, I knew that he had passed out.
Oh yeah.
He was beyond passed out.
Yeah,
And I got to, you beat me there.
well, I live closer, and I got there. And, yeah, he didn't have a heartbeat or anything. We started doing CPR on him and everything. We got him back, but people dilated. I mean, it done gone to his brain by then. And
Yeah.
it was. I broke ribs. I mean, I don't know. You want this to be on podcast? I broke ribs in CPR. The ambulance got there and they got him going, got him in the hospital. But called a helicopter and shit. He didn't make it. Well, actually, that was in Covington.
They put him on a helicopter.
I put him on a helicopter, but he died before the helicopter took off. But they sat out there and sat out there and sat out there, and then finally they took off. We drove to Memphis, and they said, "Well, when we got down there," I said, "Well, he didn't make the trip." Well, hell, he was dead when they took off.
Yeah.
But they done the paperwork, and they wanted the insurance, and that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in 2000.
Yeah,
October 26th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was
They
Thursday night.
listed date of death as 27th because we didn't get to Memphis till after midnight.
Yeah.
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 That was a bad deal. And talking about changing that a little bit.
Yeah, let's get something more pleasant.
We was talking about all them crazy cows and stuff. I'll never forget. I hauled a load over there. I got two things I'll tell you about. Hauled a load to Somerville over there, and I don't know, I had as many as I could pack on that trailer.
Hauled him to the sale barn.
Yeah, over sale barn. And,
Was this the one I was with you on?
No, I was by myself. But anyway, I pulled in there, and there was an old man standing up there with a cowboy hat on and had a stick. They opened the gates, and I drove in, and they closed the gates down. You stop, and they closed the gates down. And gosh dang, these sun guns was. Actually, I think that real bad white sun gun.
I was with you.
He was on there.
Because we told him. We said,
When
"Dude, we got some."
I told him, I said, when I got, hey, I said, watch these sun guns.
No, you said, "I got a real bad bitch on this trailer." That was your exact, because I remember, because it was that white one.
And he weighed about 1,200 pounds. Mean sun gun, never had a hand laid on him. Man, he come out of there, and that old man was standing over there. He goes, "Son, don't believe these cows come to town very often. I said, this is their first trip. Yeah, no, man.
Because remember, it like pushed open. I mean, it was climbing over the top
it
of
went over
cows.
the top. It was going. It got out into the. It didn't get out of the sale barn, but it got
It
was
got
running down the
loose.
alley.
Yeah, I
And
remember
I
that.
remember that dang boy. They was scattered.
Yeah.
They got him back. In
Yeah.
there.
No, I remember when we pulled up, they opened it up. You said, I got a bad bitch on this trailer. And, he came out because it was several of them. Yeah, they were just kind of standing because one of them was an older black guy. Yeah. And he had to bail off over the side because it was just running into the fence where they were.
Yeah. But they
they'd be in a blind rage. I mean, a fence
Oh,
would
yeah.
do nothing.
No.
But yeah, we had them. We was getting out of the cow business. There's another. You was talking about the row cropping and stuff. After the ice storm and Mr. Robert died, we did deal with Mac. Well, they decided to cut the timber on the farm out there. Well, they decimated the rest of the fences.
Yeah.
So cows were getting out every other day. I was getting a damn phone call.
I remember me and you going out there in the kudzu at night. It'd be midnight.
Well, and it was
getting around,
it
so-
was several miles of fence out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Mac, I said, Mac, I told brother first, I said, we're getting out of the cow business out here. I said, I'm done. I said, we're getting out of the cow business out here. So we did, and I called Mac, and I said, we're getting rid of the cows. I said, I'm working some of the place where I can. He said, I want you to work every square inch of it that you can. So we did. But, so we hauled, we gathered all them things up, and we hauled them over there where we could handle them over there.
I remember that because I
Yeah.
had just gotten out of bed.
But Buck Dancy, he's dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to haul for us a lot. And it was hot, too. It was in July.
Yeah.
And I called him, and we was going to haul them over there because they was going to sell the next day. And he had his trailer backed up there. And it was just me and him. There was nobody else there. And I went in there, and there was a damn brindle bull in there. Had tiger stripes. He had racing stripes. And I walked in there. We had a little escape gate. I went in there, and they were kind of crowded up in that corner down there where the gate was. And that son gonna turn around, and he blowed one time. And I bet you in a matter of 2 seconds, he made 30 feet. And when he did, he came up, and I had a stick, and I hit him as hard as I could on the end of the nose. And he came up, and his head, he hit me in the face. And he broke my cheekbone.
Mm-hmm.
He knocked me down and then stepped on me.
Yeah.
And I got up, and Buck heard the commotion out there. And I didn't even have time to open the gate. Hell, I crawled out, just got over the best way I could getting out of there. And he come over, you all right? And I said, man, I don't know. I said, I don't know if he kicked me in the head or what. But my face swelled up. And we loaded him. We got him on the trailer. And I said, hell, I said, just leave. I'm gonna leave my truck parked. I said, you take him some guns on over there. And so I spit blood for 3 or 4 days. Just blood, just spitting blood up. My face swelled up. And we called Dr. Alan Ruhlman.
Was that Hank's dad?
That's
No,
his
uncle,
Uncle.
cousin.
cousin. Excuse me. Chester's
his daddy. But we went down there. He X-rayed me. He said my cheekbone looked like an eggshell. It was just cracks all in it. And that's when I told you. I said, I'm done with cows.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not fooling with cows anymore. I said, y'all can have the cows. You can do whatever you want to. I said, I'll cut the hay and I'll feed them, but I'm never getting back in the pen with them again. And I've pretty much done that. I'm not going to get in. I mean, I've gotten older, and I'm not near as quick as I was. And I mean, that right there, that damn thing nearly killed me. It's a miracle that I didn't get killed. I mean, he was so mean. That son was so big, and he hit me. I've never had a cow get on me that quick. I mean, I've been run over and been knocked down and stuff. But I've never had one hit me
But
right there.
that all goes back to old Romeo.
Oh yeah. 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 Well, that's so from there, I know on the row cropping, that's what you like it better than the cattle.
Oh, hell yeah.
with.
You don't get them phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, because when that happens, somebody has either died or you got cows out.
Yeah.
And most time it was cows out.
Well, that's what I said. I can remember in high school you waking me up several times in the middle of the night.
Oh, shit.
We go out and fix fences, usually at Mr. Roberts.
Well, it was such a mile of road frontage on both sides,
Yeah.
and curvy road. And then
We
people
had
drove
cars
up.
drive through the
that road.
fence.
And you remember, we had some boys fishing out there one time, and high schoolers. And when there's three of them, I said, y'all can't fish down here, man. And they got kind of belligerent with me, you know, then smart asses. They lived just up the road. But anyway, we put signs up. Well, hell, go out the next day, the signs be tore down. I called them again. Second, then I told them, I said, y'all going to jail if I catch you again. I said, I'm calling law. Well, about 4 o'clock, about 2 days later, in the morning, 4 a.m., phone rings, Sheriff's Department. Said there was a report of cows out on Walkerfield Road. I said, God dang. So I jump out of the bed, get my clothes on. Daddy has a police scanner. This is before Daddy down there. He had a police scanner. We had one too. And he done heard it on the scanner.
So you used to have one in your truck.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I'm coming out of the driveway at Big Bub Billings, 4 o'clock in the morning, because Kay's going to work down at Richards. She's the machinist down there. And he would follow her to Millington and come back. He just did it. He saw me coming out of the driveway, and I saw his face. He was looking at me. He said, what are you doing? You know, to myself. He stopped down on Melanie Lane, and I pulled in there, and he had the window. What's wrong, Bubba? I said, I got some cows out here on Walkerfield Road. Okay, I'll follow you out there. And so I took off, and I went out there, turned the curve, and I had a flashlight. Well, I could see cows in the pasture. And I get on down the road. The gate was off the hinges, because we had a chain with locks on it. But the hinge end was off, and the gate was kind of pulled to bring. And I said, well, maybe they all went back in, because I could see cows in the pasture. And he said, I'll drive on down the road and see if I see anything. So he went on down the road, and I was trying to get the gate straightened back up, you know, because cows was seeing what they was coming down there. When he turned around up there, I couldn't see any. It looked like one of the Wild West movies. All I could see was cows in his headlights. It was like, I think close to 40. It was 30 something. They were out in the road, and they were coming back down the road. And the field, we were working that field, and they had gotten into that field, luckily, and this time on there was no traffic. And they just ran off into the black of night. I said, gosh dang. He said, what are we going to do now, Bubba? I said, well, if they'll keep going, they'll be trapped down there at the Bermuda field going into the clubhouse, because they had a good web wire fence around it. But it was open on one side. But I knew they couldn't go no further. They'd have to turn around and come back. And sure enough, they all ran in there. And they was all huddled up down there. And I said, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to get behind them, we're going to get them out into the road. I said, and we're going to drive them down the road. Because there was a fence down both sides of the road. If we get them in the road, because they had gotten trapped in that field. And so I knew they couldn't go. They had to. I said, maybe no cars will come, you know, but they went right down there, and the cows in the pasture got up next to the fence, and they got right on this fence, so they just stayed in the ditch all the way down that road, and it was an inset down there, and they all went off the road into that inset, and it was a miracle. I got over and opened that gate, and every one of them son guns run back in there.
Yeah.
But I called the law the next day. Them three damn boys,
The kids
they come
were
down
going
there, they came down there and took our gate off the hinges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
we put a chain with locks on it on both ends,
Yeah.
on all of them.
I remember that, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were locked on both ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what we talk about. It's funny hearing all the different stuff, because we talk about how, used to, it was, like I said, quail and hay and everything. It was all kinds of different stuff farmers were into. And yeah, right now cattle's high and row crops are down, and it just fluctuates. we got, before we get done, I got three. We have some questions submitted here for you guys. First one, this is for y'all. How has the ag industry changed since it started for y'all, and what do you think of the future of ag?
Well, this Maha bunch that we got going on right now, if for those that don't know what Maha is, that's MAHA,
Yep.
Make America Healthy Again. That was the radical left's first push to outlaw Roundup, glyphosate. They've been hammering it. It does not cause cancer. But they've gotten some nitshit lawyer or somebody to claim that it does, and it does not. EPA has proven it does not. It's nothing but soap and some salt and something else. And
We've had thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of the pure stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and the reality is,
But and then what's done happen now? This Maha, you got this radical left. Now you got these Republicans that are jumping on the bandwagon,
Oh yeah.
and they are trying their dangest to ban glyphosate. So, one of the challenges is we got going on now is these people trying to do away with the herbicides and pesticides that we have to use to raise.
Yeah.
The world would have starved to death already if we didn't have that.
We've talked about that. The people that are against GMOs, they need to be okay with about a third of the population starving to
you
death.
can't have it both
Yeah,
ways. But
Yeah.
well, and the reality is, of all the things that get sprayed, glyphosate's one of the.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's one of the.
I mean,
And it's,
Like,
it's done got to where it won't kill anything.
If they're
Yeah.
spraying glyphosate, they don't need to read some of the other labels.
I've told Bobby Lee, I said I would take if someone came in here and they had a glass of glyphosate and a glass of Paraquat, and they said you got to drink one of these,
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
drinking
Drink
glyphosate.
no comparison.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'm-
they got a commercial now. It's actually maybe a YouTube thing. It goes. It's a guy goes. Oh, I'm glad they finally quit selling that Roundup. I'm starting to use this new stuff they got called Paraquat.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, Lord have mercy if they just knew how dangerous that stuff was.
Oh yeah, yeah. Paraquat's twice. I was
And we
saying,
have to use it too,
Yeah.
but you have to be
I'm cautious with
licensed.
Paraquat.
You got to be licensed to use it, and you got to know when to use it. It's restrictions on that.
We got to up
Yeah.
all our applicator.
I think I saw that on
we got
Brandon's day.
to get it renewed because it's about to.
So how has it changed since you started farming? How have y'all seen it change?
Yeah. The expense of equipment.
Oh, we
Land.
were talking about that this
Technology.
afternoon.
Technology. The technology is so
Yeah.
so far advanced these days.
And expense. Just, yeah, I would say expense on equipment. Of course, inputs go up every year too, but that expense on equipment, if you stayed relatively up to date, even one generation behind on equipment,
Oh, you're spending a fortune.
It just kills you.
Yeah, you're
kills you.
spending $100 and something an acre on equipment notes.
Oh, it's almost impossible to overcome.
The market is so volatile.
You got to have
too. It's
have extremely good prices, extremely good yields to stay ahead of all that.
Yeah.
We had these smart people here, went to South America, and taught them how to farm down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brazil is killing us.
They did. I mean, they did. I mean, people from America
Yeah.
went down there and showed them how to farm. And boy, look at it today.
And they have
Mm-hmm.
no cost on land.
They don't have to pay a technology fee.
Right.
They
John
grow-
Deere
Right.
builds them cheaper equipment. They got
They
a
grow 2 crops a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So and then China will buy everything they can make.
Oh, and
Yeah.
China's dumping an enormous amount of money in their infrastructure.
Yep.
That's one big change. We didn't have them to worry about
But
back.
we got
in
the
day.
man in there. If he'll get going, he can get stuff straight.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so too.
I got a fun question. I'll save that one for last. Here's another one. If you could start a business today, what would it be and why?
Be honest, I'd go back into the veterinary hospital business.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, people will spend money on animals. It doesn't matter what it costs.
More small animal or large animal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If they've got it, I mean, that's a family
Small.
member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey.
you know, there is insurance for animals, but most people don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
But for my limited range of experience and abilities, that's my niche right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know,
that's my choice.
yeah. If
That allows me to do other stuff.
Mhm.
if you can buy some property and pay for it, that's what Mr. Pritchett, I think, told somebody. No land is too expensive if you can pay for it. And that was the best investment that we ever made,
Mhm.
being able to buy some land. We inherited a little land, but we bought
We bought
a
more
lot,
than we
a lot
inherited.
more than we inherited.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's no telling what the value of it is today compared to what it was when we bought it. So, and the same thing now, you know how land's going for 20, 30,000 grand in Iowa.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, there's no way they can pay for it farming,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's just no way. And I think there's absolutely got to be a limit
Well,
how high it can go out there.
Yeah.
every acre that we have bought, every acre that the boys and I have bought, you're not going to pay for it farming.
Yeah. No, the days, because, the first farm that I bought that I sold, I could pay for it. I bought it cheap enough.
Oh yeah.
But you can't do that anymore.
You were in a unique position.
You were.
Yeah.
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 And you talked to me about it. I said, sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't buy them because my average price now is about 2,500 acre.
And I believe you hit the peak. I don't think it would.
Yeah,
do
that
as
blue
well now.
oval, that
It
blue
would-
oval thing ain't gonna do like they
no,
thought.
No.
Yeah.
It's already, they back production back to 2028.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even
They delaying it.
and Trump has done rescinded a bunch of the money that's going to these solar pump farms. We never even touched on that.
Well,
And
and
if that had happened 4 or 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't have lost 300 or so acres in Shelby
Yeah.
County.
Oh yeah.
And
well, and these subsidies on these EVs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going away.
Oh yeah.
They're going away. That's why. And Ford is smarter than the average buyer. When they built that blue oval,
Where they can swap it
and
over.
they could swap it over in a matter of just a few weeks.
Mhm.
They can punch out gas-powered vehicles in no time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For our audience, which we've talked about
But
before.
they got all the EV subsidies on the startup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ford Motor Company's largest ever investment domestically is just up the road from us.
Yeah.
That,
The mega site.
they're going to make electric F-150s, supposedly.
Yeah, the lightnings or whatever.
But it keeps getting pushed back because of the electric vehicle.
Well, it was 2025. Now it's 2028.
Yeah.
That whole market is collapsing, but pretty much everybody, I mean, I know people that are working there like, yeah, we can pretty much flip a switch and
I think it is, isn't it? About 30 days they can swap to
Yeah,
gas.
yeah, that's what I've heard.
Very quickly
Yeah.
they can go from making an EV
Well, I
to
mean-
an internal combustion engine. Yeah.
I mean, how much is different? They don't put the batteries in. They don't. And drop in a.
they might make a hybrid. Might go to a hybrid.
Yeah.
but that has what we're referencing is that has really
I guarantee you-
impacted land prices.
The design is such that they can drop in a gas motor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with all that development, there's supposedly going to be massive influx of people into this area. and
Yeah.
Land development and land prices really ballooned, but we do feel like that it's kind of
We've
that
lost.
bubbles kind of
We
popped.
lost a farm too. We lost a farm. We understand that the last piece of ground we work at Millington,
Oh
the
yeah.
last little 30 acre, 35 acres we worked down there.
It's breaking
It's
news.
fixing to be. It's breaking news. It's going to be a.
I didn't even know
It's
this.
going to be a Target and an Academy
Oh, okay.
Gordon,
Yeah.
you can go in there and buy.
They're going to build that there.
You can buy
So
the
that's it.
tuckable.
I think that's where it's
wiener
going.
That's
Bikinis
it.
instead of
Yeah.
farming soybeans.
I knew they were drilling holes out there. I hope we get the beans cut off over before they start work.
Yeah.
What did we start out with down there?
120 acres.
And it was good ground too, man.
Oh man,
What's
Well,
it was 50 plus,
and
60 bushel.
and not just that. I mean, all around Millington and North Shelby County, down Singleton Parkway there, you wonder what are they fixing to build here? Hell,
Solar
there's
panels.
Solar panels.
Solar panels.
I mean,
People that
Some
haven't
of the
seen
best-
that need to drive down
Some-
Bethel Road,
Yeah.
Farmer Road.
some of the best
look at that.
ground, some of the best ground within 100 miles.
Oh yeah.
And
Covered it
it's
up.
taken out of production.
Oh, that I've shared on here before. That ground I lost on Armour Road. You remember when we were shelling corn and
I
it got
do.
over 300 bushel to
Yeah,
acre?
we had some corn shelled over 300 bushel an acre down
Well,
there.
hell, I'll go
It's
back
got solar panels on it.
Yep.
to the target. I mean, hell,
I mean,
we've existed as a
only
society
thing-
forever
the
without
only
damn
thing-
targets.
Yep.
that land can probably be reclaimed at some point. That's the only.
It just
shit.
costs some money to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang,
but
yeah.
but it's still dirt under all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, which is crazy how much they've panned and they've dug. They dig.
Oh,
I don't know if those things require water do they have to cool them because they've actually dug like ponds
It's
on
probably
each one of them.
retention ponds in case we get a flood.
well, yeah, it's probably for runoff.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
probably have to, yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm sure that's
They probably
You
require.
don't want that, yeah.
Yeah, because they've got ponds they've
It's like
dug.
But
it's
it's
subdivisions.
really green though.
It's a yes,
It's really good for the environment.
of course.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
but
So a fun question. Someone here said, "What were you guys like as teenagers?"
mean as hell.
Oh, well, you make your mom mad, so I can't say a whole lot.
What was your go-to? What music did you jam and that when you were teenagers riding around?
I never could care to. I never really cared.
No, you knew what I listened to. I still listen to it today. I was always a rock and roll dude, man. I mean, I love my Zeppelin and my Pink Floyd, and that's what I listen to, man.
That sounds-
Ozzy, I went to a lot of concerts. That's why I can't hear today. Other than I inherited that too, but
No.
I've been around a lot of loud
I didn't go to
stuff too.
concerts and I can't hear. So. I didn't,
I've told people that. Yeah, I was telling somebody the other day that you went to Kiss.
Oh, I'll tell you, I went to let me tell that.
Do
It
it.
won't take but a second.
No, I want to hear it.
In high school, I was a junior in high. No, I might have been a senior in high school. Junior or senior in high school. Had a buddy. He comes up to me one day. His dad worked a Cadillac dealership in Memphis. He goes, "Hey man, you want to go to a Kiss concert?" He said, "I guess I'm getting some free tickets." I said, "Sure." So we met Rick Airwood. There was a DJ for FM 100, I think, at the time. It was about 1977, 76, 77. And we met him down at, it was a Poncho's or El Chico's at Raleigh, down at Raleigh. You remember, it was but anyway, we met him there.
white people went there.
He was in he was in a brand new Camaro, white Camaro, and he gave us these two tickets,
What year would this be?
76 or 77. I'm not sure if it was one of those. It might have been between junior and senior year, but anyway, they were on the 8th row, on the floor, right in front of the stage. 8th row now, and we looked and said, AC/DC. That's the warm-up band, AC/DC. This was their first time in the United States. And we went down there, and AC/DC played. We was on the 8th row on the floor. AC/DC with the original Bon Scott.
They were straight out of Australia, weren't they?
Oh my God. They were loud, super loud. Angus Young, he never quit running across the stage. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Never even heard these songs, ever. And then Kiss comes out. They were so loud the drums hurt my ears. Had to stand up in our chairs. You could feel the blood that they
When
would
they'd spit the blood
Yeah,
out.
Gene Simmons and them. When they do that. It was crazy. And I mean, man, people were standing up in the chairs. And people was, it was wild. My ears rang for 3 days.
Were any girls taking their tops off?
No, but it was a good-looking girl standing up in a chair right beside me.
Man,
And
I wonder if there's any
But,
cocaine
hey,
at that thing.
I went to Martin when I graduated, And dang, AC/DC came up there and played up there. I saw them
Really?
2 times in
Man, yeah.
like 3 years.
Well, that's what I got tickled. Mom said she saw AC/DC, and she told me that she thought she was going to hell. I remember she said they came out and like they had devils, and
Oh,
she said
man,
I thought
she's
I was
crazy.
going to hell, and I said, oh, I'd love to see AC/DC back then, because now I've seen videos now, it ain't quite the same.
Nice little.
That was 50 years ago.
That was crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I've told people, because people just assume because I'm a farmer that I'm listening to country music, and I'm like, no, I grew up on Led Zeppelin and 93X and so no, I'm still on that. So, well, yeah. Well, I guess we're down to we need to do our Made in USA segment then.
Was that all the? Well, you get the man going.
Yeah, I need to get him going here. We could do this one again. Let me see if I can find the.
Oh yeah, I knew I would learn stuff tonight. Of course, some stories I've heard, and there were plenty I had never.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see.
You remember the story? You remember about the water story? About you and Brandy.
Yeah.
Me and your dad
That
were
was
working
the
on.
one when it was about
We,
150
oh my
degrees.
God, it was hot. We were working on a fence, and y'all were little, about 5 years old, and y'all were with us. And me and Bob was down there. We back there, we're close to the bluff, we call it. We was back there. Man, I couldn't wait to get back up there to get a drink of water. I was starved. We were about to die.
We leave him at the
We had
trailer.
us a good big old jug of ice water up there in the trailer, Boy, Brandy gets so mad when I tell her about
She
this.
does.
And we came walking up there. We was dead dog tired, our fencing belts and stuff on, come up there. And we got up there. There's a wet spot in the dirt road, big wet spot. And we get a hold of the jug and it's empty. And I said, what happened to the water? And Brandy goes, I poured it out.
Yeah, that's my sister for people that don't know.
And I said, what did you do that for? I didn't want Bobby Lee to have any. So we were only about 1.5 miles from the house. So we were about to die. But yeah, oh man, she gets so mad when I tell that story.
She does.
She
Yes,
does. Oh, I've heard that 1,000 times.
All right, here we go.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
All right, 2 words, made in America. Are we putting them on the spot?
Yeah, might as well. You have a favorite made in America product?
Yeah, we always highlight something made in USA at the end of the show.
George Dickel whiskey.
There you go.
Yeah, it's made in America.
Yeah.
Made in
Tennessee, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Hickory or somewhere. What's the name?
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Is it Old Hickory or Hickory Hill?
No,
Not
that's
Hickory.
Tullahoma. I think.
Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how they
Jack Daniels Lynchburg, and I believe
Yeah.
Dickel's Tullahoma,
And Jim Beam is
Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know how they spell Dickel, George Dickel. You know how they spell whiskey.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
They don't have the E.
They don't
yeah.
put an E in it.
No
yeah.
E.
No E.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a bottle of the Jack right
The
there.
green label, I'd never had that till I tried it. It's good.
Yeah, it's limited distribution. Actually, it has less aging and whatever, but
thought it used
it's
to be
really
bottled in
smooth.
bond.
It's really smooth.
Yeah.
It's really smooth. I like it. Only certain states can get it,
Okay.
and even over at our local, they don't have it
Very often.
consistently. But yeah, I came across that back in the back of the cabinet and thought I'd bring it.
Yep.
So
Well,
it's
all
good.
right. Well, guys, we appreciate y'all coming on the show.
So yeah, I guess made in America.
There you go. Jack Daniels, Tennessee whiskey, and George Dickel, Tennessee whiskey also.
Yeah, made in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait 200 episodes to do it again.
No, we don't. Yeah, we'll have to do this again. There, y'all done
Well,
broke the
Well, there's
ice.
a lot of stories that we
You
know.
don't want to wait 400. We might not be around.
Well, that'd be a little less than 4 years.
I hope y'all are still around in 4 years.
Absolutely.
Well, me too.
Well, I'm already going to predict that the audience is going to want more of that.
I think so. I think so.
We
If it's anything ever happened to a cow, I've had it happen to me. I can promise you.
Do you remember when we choked out a cow when I was with you out there at Mr. Roberts?
yeah, I think I know the time you talk. Oh, we were in the Jeep.
Yep, we were in a Jeep trying to pull a cow, and
Yeah, and that's after I had tore that quad I told you about. I told you, I said, when I pull this release, you better get out of here. And yeah, I didn't have as much time as you did to get away from her.
I remember, yeah, because she had a stillborn.
But we got that from that point on. It worked out good.
Yeah, I just remember we had scotched the rope, and I was pulling that rope, and it choked her out, and I thought I had killed her. And you were like, "Oh, she'll be all right."
Yeah, you just
I don't remember
cut her
if me and
off.
you manually pulled her, or if I had to do something.
Well,
to
we
her.
actually hooked the Jeep to
Pulled
the
her out.
calf and pulled her out with the Jeep you're in.
Yeah.
That Jeep's been it's had a history of cattle. So,
Well, I
yeah,
think I had to use a damn dog leash that was in there.
probably. Yeah,
We had limited resources.
Improvise.
So,
it's not there. None of that's there no more.
and the house that the lady called from, it was over there where Robert used to live.
Mm-hmm.
She called and said she's been seeing this cow. She thought she had trouble. You were gone somewhere. You were out of town. And
Thank goodness.
I called Logan. I said, "Hey, we need to come out here and help me." And we took care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
We got lots of stories we could tell about Big Bub and EJ and
She
Yeah, I
went
know
all
out
them
there.
guys. You know, I mean, you know.
I
So.
tell you, they have never made another person like EJ or Bub. I mean, they were one of a kind.
Oh yeah.
We can tell you all kinds of
I
stuff.
mean,
I remember both.
if I
of
could
them.
start
I do.
over, with those guys, I would.
Yeah, I remember Big Bub. I don't remember EJ. I remember throwing pumpkins in Big Bub's yard.
Oh, we did all kinds of
You,
stuff. I mean,
you got to hear the story.
you wouldn't have no.
You got to hear the Volkswagen story. Was that Halloween?
The Volkswagen? Oh, yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. That was
have to-
classic.
Y'all get us back on here and we'll talk about it.
Classic.
All right. We'll do another one. Guys, y'all go to talkdirtpodcast.com. Go to the contact page and submit your questions on there. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Leave us 5-star ratings on Spotify and on Apple. And comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know what you thought. If you got questions, shoot them to us. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. We do encourage you to go to tractormat.com. Use the code TALKDIRT, all caps, all one word. Get your tractor mat, guys. It's a really awesome tractor mat, and it helps us when you get that. It makes them. They say, "Hey, this company."
Hurts your
they're good."
ears.
Yeah.
Hurts my ears.
Yeah, keep your workplace clean.
Yep.
Use that 15% off discount code, Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word. When you're done there, go over to agzaga.com. Talk Dirt 20.
I thought that was third.
$20 off that $50 order. Whatever you want to put in your shopping cart, do it. We appreciate it. Guess we'll maybe see y'all next week.
Yep. Catch y'all next week.
It'll be 201.
It will. Take care.
See y'all.